Hello, my name's Robert Stewart, and I'm here to give a bit of an introduction to my book, Becoming Love. It's a story about my adventure on El Camino de Santiago de Compostela. It took place in 2012. If I dial back just a bit to May 2012, I had no idea of El Camino. In May, I received a phone call from my partner who was suggesting that we take a relationship sabbatical. In fact, it was a very strong suggestion. We need to take a relationship sabbatical was how it came across. Now, what is a relationship sabbatical? I've been asked by a lot of people. And that is taking a period of time, a sabbatical. Sabbaticals have been around for thousands of years. You can see references to them in the Bible. And it is taking a period of time to work on some project, as you will. In this case, ours was a relationship sabbatical. As you can imagine, both my partner and I had been through previous marriage, and it's quite different falling in love when you're in your 50s compared to your 20s. And we were both fairly strong-minded individuals, pushing each other's buttons as necessary. And we needed some time on our own to take a look at where we were at as individuals in our relationship. So I was astute enough when my partner said we're taking a relationship sabbatical that I'd better find out about sabbaticals and how I could make the best of this. So I decided it was to be a year long, and the only thing I thought was, well, it should be a spiritual journey because I'm looking to learn more about myself, my God, however one defines that, and my relationship with my partner, my love, and love in general. So this was an opportunity for me to work focused on my own enlightenment and growth. Now, much like life itself, El Camino is a roller coaster ride. Up and down mountains of all sorts, with all sorts of experiences compressed into a short period of time. Normally, you can walk El Camino in about 33 days. I took some extra time, a total of 40, so that I could have 3 days of R&R and a few days in a place called Finisterre at the end. Certainly, for my spiritual journey, I had a purpose, and just like life, it's good to have a purpose. For me, it was to get a better understanding of myself, who I was, where I'm going, where I wanted to be, and my relationship with what I refer to as the grand organizational design, or GOD, as the acronym. One of the things we learn on El Camino is El Camino gives you what you need, not necessarily what you desire. So the experiences that come up are the experiences you need in your spiritual journey. I walked half of my time on my own so that I could do my own inner contemplation, and the other half of my time walking with other pilgrims so that I could learn about them, hear their stories, and do some bonding and some learning from them. During my pilgrimage, I took the time each day to journal. That was something that I found was very helpful because without journaling, I found that I was missing half of my life. Journaling kind of provides the discipline where you sit down and take a look at what's happened to you on a given day, or it can be longer than that, and put it into some sort of perspective for yourself and identify messages coming from the universe to me. And that was one of the things I wanted to be very mindful about while I was doing my pilgrimage, was looking at the messages that the universe was sending me and putting them into context. And probably the biggest surprise that came to me on my pilgrimage was the wonderful people that I got to walk with. I found that most of the people walking El Camino are relatively young, and even if they're 84 years old, they have a youthful spirit to them. One fellow, 84 years old, I called him Go Slow Joe, because his motto was slow and steady wins the race. So just to show you that anybody of any age can actually do El Camino. And it was such a pleasure. There are people who were very kind and cared for other people on the trail, and I referred to them as my evolving family. Some new people would join in to the group if they started later, and some people would have to leave the group because they had to go home. Not everybody could afford to take 33 or 40 days off from their regular life. So that provides an overview of the book. It's a love story, certainly a love story of me and my partner, but also a love story with the rest of my family and the wonderful people I met on El Camino. It's an adventure story. Lots in there about history, geography, the medieval periods. It's a spiritual book. It has lots of references to the ancient wisdoms and the paths that other people have trod that we can learn from. And it is a peace book as well, which refers to one of the passions in my life as a peace educator. So I hope you get an opportunity to read my book. If you can't walk El Camino, it's almost as good as being there. It helps raising consciousness and getting you to contemplate some of the things that I contemplated on the journey as well. So as we say on El Camino, buen camino.